As per Bild, Manchester United have made contact with Borussia Dortmund over Serhou Guirassy. The Guinean striker has thrived in the Bundesliga and is reportedly being considered as a credible option. However, United may face stiff competition in the race for the 29-year-old, given that the likes of Arsenal and Paris Saint-Germain are also said to be keeping tabs on him. Guirassy is also understood to be content at Signal Iduna Park, meaning a summer transfer could be the Reds' best chance of securing his signature, rather than in the January window. Manchester United remain in the market for attacking reinforcements, despite having added 3 forwards to their squad this summer. By the end of the transfer window, Ruben Amorim's new-look attack boasted Brian Mbeumo, Mateus Cunha, and Benjamin Sesko, prompting fans to start dreaming. While Cunha and Mbeumo have enjoyed impressive starts to life at the Theatre of Dreams, the same cannot be said for the Slovenian number 9. Sesko has managed just 2 goals in 12 appearances this season and is currently sidelined with a knee injury. With Joshua Zirkzee future also uncertain, the Red Devils are already tipped to move for another striker in 2026. A recent report relayed by The People's Person states that United have identified Borussia Dortmund striker Serhou Guirassy as an option to bolster their attack. The Guinean striker has enjoyed a spectacular rise in European football in recent times. Guirassy first caught the eye at VfB Stuttgart, prompting Dortmund to secure his signature in the summer of 2024. The 29-year-old has since scored 47 goals and set up 13 more in 67 games across competitions for BVB, including 9 goals in 17 appearances this season. Guirassy's efforts have turned heads at multiple clubs across the continent, including United. A recent report has now provided a key update on the player's next move. According to Bild, United are among 5 clubs already in contact with Guirassy's entourage. The Guinea international's other suitors include Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, and Manchester City. The report, however, adds that the player has no plans to leave Signal Iduna Park in the middle of the season, with a summer move being the most likely option. There is reportedly a release clause in his contract, valid only for United, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Liverpool, Manchester City, Arsenal, and Chelsea. Guirassy's other suitors would have to pay a higher fee to secure his signature. The player also has admirers in Saudi Arabia and would have the option to move to the Middle East if he so wishes. All signs now suggest that the Guinea international will not stay at Dortmund beyond this season. Brighton have become regular players in the summer transfer market, with several high-profile sales over the past few seasons. João Pedro's move to Chelsea this summer was one such transfer, highlighting the Seagulls' willingness to cash in on their top talent. Clubs across Europe continue to monitor Brighton's squad closely, aware that any standout performers could trigger significant offers. Manchester United have been active in scouting midfield options, particularly after last season's mixed displays in the center of the park. Interest in young talents from Premier League rivals has also intensified, as clubs seek to reinforce their squads before the January window. This past summer, United turned their attention to Brighton's Cameroonian midfielder, Carlos Baleba. According to The Athletic, the 21-year-old was very receptive to the move and even agreed personal terms with Old Trafford. Despite this, a senior figure at Manchester United later placed a courtesy call to Brighton, confirming that the club would not pursue the transfer further. Brighton were unwilling to sell for anything less than a figure close to Moises Caicedo's British record sale of $115 million to Chelsea in 2023, which was far above United's initial valuation. The timing appeared ideal, as Carlos Baleba had enjoyed 2 successful campaigns, but a sluggish start to the new season has since complicated his situation. His form has dipped alarmingly, with the young midfielder being substituted at half-time in 4 of Brighton's first 12 league matches. The personal terms agreement demonstrates that United were serious about the move and had prepared to accommodate the player's demands. Carlos Baleba himself had shown enthusiasm for the switch, indicating a desire to test himself at a bigger stage. However, Brighton's valuation and the club's strategy ultimately prevented the deal from progressing. While the Cameroonian's current dip in form may affect his market value, he remains a highly regarded prospect capable of influencing midfield dynamics. Manchester United's interest in Baleba highlights the club's continued strategy of identifying young talent in the Premier League and across Europe. Although the summer move did not materialize, sources suggest United could revisit the situation if the player regains form or circumstances change during the January window. David Ornstein has delivered a fresh update on Manchester United's pursuit of João Gomes. After reports this week, a deal was close to being struck for the Brazilian midfielder. Despite Wolverhampton Wanderers being firmly languished at the base of the Premier League table, Gomes has been a rare bright spot at Molineux this season. Stationed at the heart of Wolves' midfield, Gomes has demonstrated the full breadth of his growing skill set, excelling across multiple defensive metrics while also ranking highly in progression stats, either through passing or dribbling. There is a natural limit imposed by playing for the worst team in the division this season. But his performances, in spite of this unfavorable context, have seen him linked with a number of bigger clubs across England, including United. The Red Devils are prioritizing an overhaul of Ruben Amorim's midfield in the coming windows, with at least 2 new recruits expected to be signed next year, in January or, more likely, the summer. Gomes was believed to be an option for the winter window, given the potential of a cheaper fee, in comparison to more high-profile targets like Elliot Anderson or Adam Wharton. One report even claimed a deal was on the verge of being struck, with optimism from both clubs that it would be completed in January and the player agreeing terms. But Ornstein, the gold standard for football transfer reporters, has poured cold water on the prospect of Gomes swapping a gold shirt for a red one anytime soon. Writing for The Athletic, Ornstein reveals sources at Old Trafford say there is no truth to reports a deal is being pursued for the Brazilian. Similarly, the reporter states, their Wolves counterparts also deny knowledge of interest from Old Trafford and insist talks between the clubs have not happened. Wolves are hoping for a mid-season revival under new manager Rob Edwards, and a player like Gomes will be key to helping the Black County side stave off a descent into the championship next year. But, Ornstein contends, if Wolves look doomed to relegation come the winter window, there might be a business case for selling such assets now, rather than at a reduced price in the championship. Manchester United have been linked with Neymar many times since the Brazilian superstar burst onto the scene in 2009 with Santos. However, Barcelona eventually won the race for Neymar in 2013 before Paris. Saint-Germain set an almost unattainable transfer record to lure him to the French capital 4 years later. Neymar's rise and his mesmerizing manipulation of the ball also intensified the search for the next Neymar, with Europe's biggest clubs spending ridiculous figures on Brazilian attacking prospects. Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo, Keke, Estevao, and even former United winger Antony earned notable moves to Europe after drawing comparisons to Brazil's record goal scorer. Now, United have entered the race to sign Brazil's latest teenage wonder kid. Earlier this week, the People's Person relayed a report claiming United have scouted Robinho Jr., son of former Real Madrid and Manchester City star Robinho. Known for his dazzling feet and agility, Robinho has become a first-team regular at Santos, leading the Brazilian Giants' attack alongside Neymar. The 17-year-old has already been handed the number 7 shirt. Robinho's contract includes a massive 100 million release clause, 87.5 meters. However, his exit from Santos in January is increasingly on the cards due to the club's financial and sporting crisis. According to Fichajes, United are most determined to sign the next Neymar as they look to add immensely talented prospects to their ranks. It is claimed preliminary contacts have already been made to explore Robinho's situation. The Spanish outlet suggests the Santos youngster is open to the possibility of a move to Old Trafford. Accordingly, the Red Devils are prepared to make a strong push to win the race for his signature.